To much fanfare, the Black Widow movie was recently released, and by all accounts, this movie is a huge success, having grossed more than $215 million in sales. That's a combination of $80 million in ticket sales in North America, $78 million in ticket sales internationally, and an additional roughly $60 million generated by the Disney Plus platform. Now, here's the thing. This was available for people to watch at home, but a lot of people opted to see this movie in theaters. And I think is a wonderful sign that people want to get back to some kind of normal. They want this shared experience in the movie theaters of sitting and watching movies in the dark with strangers. People want that experience. But even with those successes of all of those tickets being sold in North America and international, there are people asking questions as to what the future holds for movie theaters. And so here is a clip of the CEO of IMAX actually giving his impression of what all this means for the future.
I mean, forever is a pretty long time, Andrew. As a matter of fact, it's changed forever about 4 times in the last year. Remember, Warner Brothers was doing day and date releases forever. Now they've gone to a 45-day window. Your parent company, Universal, was changing things forever. Now they've gone to a 4-month streaming window. You know, I think the weekend was fantastic. It's building back in a way we would all love to see it build back, but we're still just coming out of the pandemic. And I think it's way too early to predict the future based off one weekend.
I think the CEO handled that question incredibly well. He acknowledged, yes, that things have changed, but he also cautions against trying to predict the future because the future is unknown in a lot of different ways. And again, this movie grossed a tremendous amount of money in theaters, which again sends the signal that people want this shared experience. People want to go to the movies and sit in the dark and have the overpriced popcorn, and they want that experience. And I honestly do believe that movie theaters are not going anywhere. Will they kind of shift and change? Absolutely.
Yeah, I do think the industry is going to consolidate more around tentpole films. And obviously that's great for IMAX. What we do is curate and show tentpole films on a global basis. That's a good development for us. But I think a lot of the mid-level films will start to split off into streaming-only kinds of releases. So a lot of the small films will be sacrificed on the big screen and will be streamed. But I think films like Black Widow are going to have theatrical windows. And in fact, Disney said that. If you go forward and you look at Shang-Chi, their next Marvel movie, or you look at Free Guy, they've already said those are going to have 45-day theatrical windows, as has every other studio. So yes, I think the mix in multiplexes will change in terms of the kind of films, but the blockbusters are really going to drive the multiplex business.
In that last clip, essentially what the CEO was highlighting was that the 90-day exclusive window for when movies historically have been released to theaters is actually going to shrink. It might be as few as 30 days or possibly 45 days for certain types of movies. And this basically means that the movies are going to come out in the theaters and then they're very quickly going to transition to other platforms like Disney Plus, in which people can actually watch these movies at home. And again, the future is unknown, and it will be exciting to see how all of this unfolds.